Hey guys, welcome back once again. And first off, thanks for checking out this series on Logos for Bible Hub users. So this will be kind of a short video just covering the basics of using the Logos mobile app. I'm not going to be touching on the Bible Hub mobile app just because, and you can see this if you download it yourself, it's just the normal Bible Hub web app. It's just loaded in a browser component that you can install on your mobile device. So first, the Bible Hub app is just a skin for a web browser, right? That's really all it is. There really isn't even a point to having it as its own download, in my opinion, at least as a software developer. All it does is open the Bible Hub site on a mobile form, which you can do the same way in your phone's browser. Secondly, the Bible Hub mobile app doesn't allow for an offline download. So if you don't have reception, or if you're using a Wi-Fi only device while traveling in the car or something, you won't be able to use it at all. So with Logos, you can download any of your resources that are mobile available, and that's the overwhelming majority of them, and read them offline. So pretty much any of your standard books, many of your data sets, you can download and use offline. So again, with Bible Hub, yeah, it's the same interface. It's a little bit easier to use, whereas Logos here we'll get into, you'll have a little bit more of the app to learn, but that's really about it. So the Logos mobile app definitely has more going for it. Now that said, going into the mobile interface, it starts out looking kind of like this. This is the home dashboard, right? So if we have the button down here for home, we click home, okay? But when you open, normally it's just going to open to whatever your most recently read resource is. Now, if the font looks huge here to you, it's because I'm using an emulator here for my phone on my Windows desktop. So don't worry about that. And you can adjust the font sizing and all anyway. So along the bottom, we have home, we have the library icon, we have open tabs, a search, and then the menu. So again, the home dashboard, to me, this is not really all that useful. You can create prayer lists in Logos, and you see, I have one today. I'm not going to click into it, but you can create those in Logos desktop, and you can also use those over in mobile. You can create them in mobile across different apps. So whatever device you're doing your daily devotional or you're doing your Bible study in, you can have those there to remind you of your prayer list. So next up is the library. So if we just click this tab, here's a library. I have a search in right now for NASB. So we can just get rid of that. And we'll see right here, here's my library, right? So we can type in to search for something specific or whatever. We can type in and search for the TLV. Clicking that, we'll open it. So here's the Tree of Life version in Mark 15. That's the last place I was in it. So you can also search for resources by title or author. You can filter and change the way that they're sorted. So I can filter here, if I want a Bible commentary, it's going to think TLV is related to the Latin Vulgate, I guess. But anyway, so you can do that. We can remove that search, and then we can look for only specific things. We can look just for monographs, for example, in English with the author of Jacob Neusner. So now if we go back, here's all of my library that are Neusner's works. So again, I can just click this little button right here. That will download it, and it will keep it stored locally on the device so that I can read it any time, even if I don't have internet. The only thing that you don't get with that is some advanced searching. Some searches, especially if you go deeper into a word study and that sort of thing, a lot of times it requires internet to access multiple dictionaries. And you certainly won't have your entire Logos library downloaded once you get to the kind of the number of resources that I have. I can't say they wouldn't all fit on my device, but it would bog it down, and I've got too many pictures of my kids on there to take up all my space with that. So once again, yeah, that's the library. It works pretty much the same way, although searching is actually a little bit faster. So another way to get to Neusner is we could just type author, and then we could type the last name, and here's 100 works by authors with the last name of Neusner. All right, so we'll go back. Okay, next up is the search tab. It opens a help screen when it opens, and that pretty much tells you the different types of searching that you can do. So I'm not really going to go deeply into that. This screen explains pretty much everything that I would be explaining. Next, we can open the menu. So opening it will reveal top to bottom the most popular tools: search, just mentioned that, fact book. It's very similar to what we covered in our Logos desktop walkthrough for topical studies, when we looked at the fact book. It's just a slightly slimmer form since it's on a smaller screen. There is preaching mode, very useful if you use your mobile device to preach or teach from. I use an iPad for this when I teach every Sabbath. It opens my sermon document, lets me scroll or swipe through my notes. I covered some of that in the previous 2 videos. Passage guide, once again, by far one of the most useful tools in the mobile apps toolkit. We will dive into that. We'll circle back to it in a moment. Word study works very much like the walkthrough we did on the desktop. Text comparison, once again, that's your parallel Bible translation tool. Store, of course, a link to the Logos web store. Library headings, again, you can search just for books, just for audio resources you have. Now, this could be an audio book, or it could be a separate audio resource, such as an audio file from one of your Logos mobile ed courses or something. Any reading plans, if you have those set up. Courses, once again, for your Logos mobile ed courses. You can pick some as favorites and so on. That's pretty standard stuff. Documents, you can create notes. Your notes will be accessible across the Logos platform, however you end up getting at them. Sermons, unfortunately, you can't edit or create or type in any way sermons on the mobile app. You can on a tablet, so you can do it on the iPad. The web app, desktop, you just can't create new sermons, at least at this time here in the mobile app. So that's really for viewing existing ones. Once again, guides, passage guide, exegetical guide, topic guide, and the Bible word study. The topic guide, I mentioned before, it's useful, but honestly, I would just go to the fact book at this point. It seems to be better optimized for mobile anyway. The reference scanner is a pretty neat little tool. It'll actually open your camera, and if there's a passage that's written out, like you can even handwrite, Daniel 4:4, right? Just write it in just your regular handwriting. Open the reference scanner, scan it with your camera, and it will bring up a passage in a Bible for Daniel 4:4, right? So that's pretty cool. Settings, if we go further down, we get into settings. We'll drill into that briefly in a moment. So for now, let's just open the passage guide. Okay, and once again, we just type in a passage. I'm actually going to go to Job 1:1, because why not, right? I mean, nobody ever really uses Job as an example anymore. Okay, so first let's scroll through and see what sections it gives us. We have commentaries, cross-references, right? We keep going down, parallel passages, literary typing, interesting words. Again, these are kind of some words that stick out, right? Topics that relate to it. So scrolling back up to the top, let's take a look at a commentary or two. So now here's the thing that irritates me about the mobile app. You'll see Job, right? Job. Okay, Job. Now, which commentary set is this? You don't know. I don't know. Which commentary is this? I don't know. And that's my biggest complaint about the way the passage guide is handled. I actually have a feature request put into Logos's development team right now asking them to fix this, whether let me, tap and hold and have a little message, a little tooltip pop up to tell me what series that is or whatever. Like this one's great. Word Biblical Commentary. That means if I open this is going to be my WBC commentary on Job 1:1. Cool. Awesome. That makes sense to me. But this one over here, this doesn't tell me what commentary series it is. This one doesn't tell me. This one doesn't tell me. I don't know what actual commentaries these are, which is fine if I know my top 4 that are prioritized. But what if I want one down here? I don't know what these are unless I go in and prioritize every single commentary, and obviously I'm not going to do that. So that's kind of my biggest gripe on using the passage guide on mobile. Anywho, so back on track. If you select one of these, once again, it'll open the passage, which we did over here in the WBC. From here, you can scroll, you can read in that passage. We can go to the table of contents and pick a particular thing in a particular place. So let's say that I want to skip all this kind of stuff and I just want to get to his explanation. So here he's going to, the author's going to explain this section of Job. But again, that's just really a matter of reading. So back over here to the passage guide, scrolling down past commentaries, which I opened. Perhaps I shouldn't have. I opened too many. Again, cross-references. The first cross-reference, Genesis 6:9, refers to how Noah walked with God. And again, that makes sense why it relates to Job. Here in Jeremiah 25, the land of Uz, well, that's where Job was. Here Job is mentioned in Ezekiel and so on. So those cross-references, those make sense, right? Parallel passages, literary typing, I'm not really going to get into those right now. Topics, if you look under topics, here we have Aristeas the exegete. Now opening this right here, going to take us to the Anchor Yale Bible Dictionary entry for Aristeas the Exegete, a Jewish author who flourished prior to the mid-1st century BCE, whose work on the Jews treated, at the very least, the biblical figure Job. That's kind of cool, right? Once again, it's kind of a way of quickly gathering information, putting your resources together and all that. And it's much faster than just searching through your library for something every time it refers to Job or the book of Job or Job chapter 1 and so on. Back up to the tools menu, text comparison. So select a passage. Let's go Job 1:1 again. Cool. Now again, my top translation is the New American Standard 2020. It's going to list these other translations. Here's the TLV, the NRSV. I honestly don't know why this one's even here. So you notice you have this percent difference, right? This percent difference is, once again, like we looked at on desktop, it's how much different this version is from your preferred version. So for me, the New American Standard is 0%, right? Because it is the NASB 2020. The Tree of Life version, however, is 25% different, and it's going to highlight the words that are different. Pretty much works very similar to the way that it does on desktop, so that's really just about all I've got to say on that. Settings, so if we go down and pick settings. Color scheme, again, you can pick light, dark, sepia, system, and so on. Your preferred Bible, again, mine is the NASB 2020. You can change this, but just remember that setting a preferred Bible or a #1 top Bible translation in one device has ramifications across all devices. You can set a daily reading reminder, so you just pick what time of day and then toggle it on that you want Logos to give you a little push notification saying, hey, you need to study your Bible. View settings, obviously you can change fonts, text sizing, line spacing, all those are pretty self-explanatory. And that pretty well sums up the mobile app. Again, I already covered exegetical guide, topic guide, fact book, those sorts of things in desktop. Pretty much all the information from desktop is still relevant here. So let's just open the fact book really quick. If we look for Job as a person, not the book of Job, but Job as a person, it'll populate information. Again, the top article is going to be from the Lexham Bible Dictionary, and we can kind of go from there. That sums up the mobile app. Like I said, I just wanted to give a brief overview of it. I didn't really dive into Bible Hub just because I don't really see the reason, because Bible Hub's mobile version is the same as the desktop. If you can do it on the web version on your computer, you can do it on mobile. So I didn't feel like that was really all that necessary. Either way, thanks for watching this video. This one's kind of an appendix really at the end of the series, but I do appreciate everybody checking out these videos. Be sure to like, subscribe, etc., and let me know if there's something that I overlooked or something that I missed. And once again, please be sure to check out the 10th video before making any large purchases, and use my link if you please would when you do. So it's been a fun series. I'll have to figure out something else to do now in the future, but either way, thank you guys for watching. Shalom.